grab your mocha, grab your lattes, whatever the hell you're drinking, and settle on down. This is good old-fashioned Capcom and Marvel scaling. This is Goon Explains. You guys have seen it before, where I do this over on my main channel, Jobbers and Goons. I break down concepts, explain them, things like that. We're kind of doing it for this, but gonna go over the cosmology of Marvel vs. Capcom, how it scales in verse for that game and the lore, and how it would scale in comparison to taking stuff from outside lore. For example, using Marvel scaling, applying it to Capcom, and using other scaling for the different verses. So we're gonna do that today. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And if you want to see your favorite characters on this channel or on my main channel, Jobbers and Goons, definitely let me know in the comment section down below, and hit me up on Discord if you want to purchase a video. So, getting into this, shout out to my boy GB for helping gather all this. We're going to break down how everything scales in the series. Now, first of all, most of the main characters in the series can exist while being removed from their timelines altogether, so they're actually outside of a different plane of existence. So they do have kind of like all inherent weird existence feats, so to speak, as in they have arguments for higher levels of existence. We actually know that Akuma was able to defeat Galactus, as Akuma states being able to defeat Galactus actually was unsatisfactory, didn't do much for him, and he's still seeking the ultimate battle somewhere out there. So off rip, we know that Akuma scales above Galactus, which is absolutely nuts. And we've seen that Akuma is shown to have defeated the best that both worlds have to offer in combat, which of course is an implication that Akuma can take down pretty much anyone on Earth 616. We see Chun-Li is able to absolutely put hands on Kingpin, which is ridiculous. F in the chat, I disagree with the scaling, but beat the shit out of Kingpin. And as you know, Kingpin's taken down several characters like Spider-Man, Captain America, and Punisher. Deadpool, during the game, obviously on the Marvel side, is actually able to converse with and talk to the player, and he and the player talk about how they're potentially going to tap into the player's world, which you'll see later. Now, the Deadpool scaling with the character is actually quite funny, because the player and character later are accused of destroying parts of, quote, real-world Cleveland, and the real-world police were searching for the player and Deadpool, which is hilarious. But yeah, Deadpool with the narrative scaling right there is quite ridiculous. We then see one of the heaviest hitters in the Marvel Capcom cosmology, Dormammu. Dormammu has been traveling through worlds, universes, and different timelines. As well as during this time, he has different agents of chaos working for him. For example, Wesker from Resident Evil and Akuma. The reason this is insane, because, like I said, Akuma took down Galactus, yet Akuma serves Dormammu, which is a wild cosmology to have for Marvel vs. Capcom. We see Heimdall being brought into the lore of Marvel vs. Capcom, and he is actually able to see into different worlds and universes, including different fictional timelines like Capcom's. Silver Surfer takes Zero to his world, but it's not really that world. It's another version of Mega Man's world. So they start dimensional hopping, searching for the correct worlds and such. So Surfer and Zero here kind of follow up on the assertion from regular Marvel that Surfer can just casually hop dimensions and universes. Ultron Sigma can use the stones to tear down two universes at the same time and then recreate them again. And with a simple touch, Ultron Sigma can transform anyone into a robot slave. The transformation is known as a Sigma virus and can infect even gods like Thor in Marvel vs. Capcom. Thanos actually goes and stands up to Ultron Sigma and was able to hurt him bad enough to force a retreat, even though Ultron Sigma had 2 Infinity Stones and Thanos had none. That's right, Big Thanos pulls up and puts hands on 2 Stone Ultron. Now, Thanos also has another feat of defeating Jeddah, who also had an Infinity Stone. Jeddah, and I'm going to explain some Jeddah scaling later, explains where he is from, death doesn't apply, which is why he is technically beyond Mistress Death. Sigma and Ultron are shown to also scale pretty relative in this cosmology. And the Infinity Buster, along with the power of the game's cast, was enough to defeat Ultron Sigma in totality. Onslaught in the Capcom verse, his mind and attacks are strong enough to summon heroes from the Capcom universe subconsciously and cause them to fight. And Cap had to sacrifice himself to save the world and take out Onslaught. And we see how, and it's kind of weird scaling, but Ryu challenging Morgan somehow reality warped the game into some like Tetris-like game. And like I said, mentioning Jeddah before and how that scales, Jeddah is capable of creating worlds that exist outside of time. And the merged also represents something that encompasses a duality. So there's high tier scaling for Jeddah and other characters from that verse, whereas Jeddah, even with an Infinity Stone, got stomped by Thanos within the verse. So overall, how does this all scale? Well, this is interesting, right? Well, first of all, they shift the cosmological importance of Dormammu massively above Galactus. It's funny because in recent comics, Galactus absorbed Dormammu. But here, we see Dormammu, one of the big dogs. We see that Akuma can defeat Galactus and is above, but serves Dormammu in a weird way. We see high-tier characters like Thanos beat characters with Infinity Stones. It's all impressive, and if you use the Marvel cosmology, several of the top tiers are outer-versal to high outer, and we know Jeddah getting stomped by Thanos, and Jeddah being able to, like, battle stuff that encompasses dualities and create realities outside of space and time is high tier. So being able to casually stomp that out and all these other feats we've mentioned for Capcom puts this crossover verse in a comfortable range of outer versal for the high tiers, with even low tiers or quote regular characters having good enough scaling and weird scaling. For example, they can exist outside their own timelines. They have like weird existence hacks and stuff, and Deadpool can even obviously interact with the player and has that narrative scaling. So it's all very interesting, and overall is a very fun cosmology to observe. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. What do you think of the Dormammu Akuma dynamic? What do you think about Galactus jobbing to Akuma? What do you think of Kingpin getting beat up? Let me know all of this in the comment section down below. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.